Bundestag's President Wolfgang Schäuble, Prime Minister Andrej Babiš, Minister President Michał Kretschmer, ladies and gentlemen. Germany is one of Poland's most important political and economic partners. We cooperate closely in the EU and NATO, which can constitute a reference point for our countries. Our countries are united by many social and cultural links, which are especially strong in the Polish-German border regions. Polish-German partnership creates solid basis for the development of our bilateral relations and contribute to the stability and prosperity of Europe. We've just discussed this with Mr. Schäuble before this conference, that the Visegrad countries, the 4 Visegrad countries, are the main trading partner of Germany, and by far main trading partner of Germany. It is in the range of 250, 260 billion euro of a turnover in international trade. The next in row would be France, China, and the United States, which are around 150 billion of export-import with Germany. In 2019, our bilateral dialogue has a special context connected with important historical anniversaries. 75th anniversary of the Warsaw Uprising, or the 80th anniversary of the outbreak of World War II. We spoke about this with Bundestag's president as well. And also the 30th anniversary of the democratic changes in Central and Eastern Europe, which started with the Solidarity Revolution. We have a special obligation to raise the social awareness of those parts of our history, and I deeply believe in the role of the reliable historical information and education as a cornerstone for a real and sincere understanding between people and nations. Ladies and gentlemen, Polish-German understanding on EU's future is a pillar of EU's unity. Unity that provides us with the scale needed to shape new international order against the background of challenging external environment. None of the issues that we need to collectively address, also the ones related to the need to flourish in the age of rapid scientific and technological progress, will be efficiently dealt with by a disunited, smaller Europe. If we have, as we should, ambitions concerning the future course of the EU, we need to develop extraordinary multidisciplinary platforms in which science, research, and culture are confronted with the needs of EU society and its citizens. During the European parliamentary elections, a large group of European voters expressed their discouragement with the EU future direction. Such calls came from both right and left side of the political spectrum. Thus, there is a strong democratic mandate to read just the past of the future of Europe. Poland is already an experienced EU member state capable of articulating its vision and convincing partners to advocate common agenda. On the 1st of May, we celebrated the 15th anniversary of the great EU enlargement of 2004 by hosting in Warsaw a summit of my counterparts, attended by representatives of the member state who joined the European Union 15 years ago or a little later. Leaders of 13 attending member states adopted during this event an important Warsaw Declaration, a valuable input into the discussion on the future of the EU. Poland wants to continue to play an active part in searching for solutions for our common European challenges. We have presented constructive inputs in the pan-European debate on the future of EU on a broad range of topics such as the single market and deepening of the single market, in particular the freedom to provide services, of EU on a broad range of topics like also digital agenda, defense, climate and climate change and how to address those, migration and the role of national parliaments in the EU decision-making processes. We should not lose sight of a wider landscape of challenges ahead of Europe and remember that observing the horizon of the future is our duty. Chief among them are widely known. It's the need to continue preparation of the scenario of a no-deal Brexit. I hope there won't be any no-deal Brexit, but we have to prepare for the worst. EU enlargement regarding our Western Balkan partners so that we could avoid another wave of migration crisis in the future. 3, the need for sober assessment of fundamental challenges to the West emanating from outside powers like China, like India, like the United States. And 4, the necessity for the EU to preserve the vitally important transatlantic link. I am a great believer in transatlantic cooperation. Poland is as much pro-European as it is pro-American, and not too many other nations, I think, such in the European Union. And those transatlantic links, I believe, have to be preserved, have to be nurtured, because they are really the backbone of the democratic world. What is also important for Europe is, as a continent, we must again become leaders in the field of advanced technologies and industry. Well, maybe some German companies still are leaders, but Europe as a whole is probably not. So the EU should establish a European innovation strategy that will define a program to expand approach to strategic value chains, ranging from hydrogen and other storage technologies, AI, performance computing, Internet of Things, cybersecurity, 5G, space technologies, 3D printing and 3D technologies, or smart health. There should be no room for complacency and business-as-usual mode. The economic downturn we experience requires a counter-cyclical fiscal policy as well. Having said that, I would like to address now the European Forum for Science, Research and Innovation in Dresden. A splendid example of the future-oriented thinking connecting neighboring countries in the globalized research and innovation world. Especially in science, in almost every observed phenomenon, it is possible to see connections. One should only choose the right perspective. Maria Skłodowska, the first woman ever awarded by the Nobel Prize, said that one never notices what has been done. One can only see what remains to be done. Western part of Poland, Lower Silesia and Saxony share natural geographical proximity and mutual interests to a very wide extent. I've been myself visitor to Dresden many times because I come from Wrocław, which you called Breslau, not so far from here. So I know your beautiful city very well. Today we develop our economic cooperation together, transferring the whole region between Leipzig, Dresden, and Wrocław into European Silicon Valley. And we want to also connect Prague, Andrzej, to this Silicon Valley too. So research and innovation are among key priorities of my government. I observe with satisfaction the well-established and dynamic Polish-German cooperation in research, development, and innovation. The partnerships in this area are strong. Mutual contacts are dynamic and fruitful, not only at institutional level, but also directly between individual researchers and companies. I believe in a smart combination of bottom-up and top-down approaches in science. It works quite well in our bilateral and regional cooperation. Let me name an example of common initiatives developed by Poland and Germany in recent years. The Dioscuri Centers of Scientific Excellence, financed jointly by Polish and German Ministry of Science. The aim of this initiative is to support scientific excellence by financing basic research conducted by outstanding scientists within the so-called Dioscuri centers in various areas of science. Another great example of vital Polish-German activity is European Battery Alliance, which acts as a catalyst to create a battery value chain in Europe. It's another example where China and the United States, and China in particular, is ahead of Europe, and we have to catch up. We consider that this initiative can constitute a perfect test case for our new technologies and industrial policy. We must remember that modern science is not looking for divisions. Now science is looking for solutions, how to limit those divisions, and I like it a lot about science. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to an end, I believe that the first forum on science, research and innovation will begin the new tradition of meetings of the top scholars and entrepreneurs, tackling key issues of the innovation and research debate. I would like to congratulate the federal state of Saxony, or Freistaat Saxony, and its scientific partners on organizing the excellent event, and wish all participants many fruitful workshops and discussions. Let us work together on assuring growth and prosperity for our societies. Science is a timeless legacy. Science is a way to develop. Science is the key to prosperity of Poland and Germany. Science is also key to building deep and mutually beneficial cooperation between our two nations, our two countries. Thank you very much.